Good morning from Durrig country in my garden on the unceded Durrig lands northwest of Sydney. Just acknowledging the river Jirubin, the mountains, the sacred places, the ancestors, the elders past, present and emerging, the black cockatoos, the wombats, the black swans that are on the wetlands just down here. Just remembering and being grateful for a very, very long time of custodianship and care for this land. So I'm in my garden. As I mentioned, my name is Karen Coons-Valiantis, and the founder of Earth Heart Ecotherapy. And one of my students who graduated, Ling Halbert, has got an online project going to support gardening and to support soil, making of really good soil and really good feeds from the garden called Small Seeds, Big Feeds. And she's asked me to talk about how gardening is therapeutic for me. So I'm really happy to support her project and her work of ecotherapy into the world and of eating fresh food and growing your own food. So it's gardening is therapeutic for me in lots of ways, and I basically garden every day. I've sort of got the fingernails to prove it. Dirt is a permanent fixture of my fingernails. Good soil, good compost really is on me at any time mostly to prove that's what I do. But when I'm in the garden, it invites me into my ecological self, my eco self, which I believe is my authentic, my deep self, my vegetal self, my kohlrabi self, if you like, sweet potato self. It acknowledges an ecocentric perspective when I'm there, and it's not a direct thing, but it's a very indirect thing all the time, and that's a relief for me. That's a relief and a rest from my egocentric self, which thinks that I have to make it happen, or that things, that it all revolves around me. It's a profound relief, and I feel the relief leaving in increments as I get deeper and deeper into the garden time, which is sort of off the clock time. We'll talk about that in a minute a bit more. In my garden, I'm co-creating life along with, whatever I believe is the source of life. It's a great mystery to me, actually, and I'm working with the mystery, alongside the mystery, co-creating, and I draw close to this mystery, and that is a timeless thing as well. You're dropping out of, I mentioned, the clock time, the rush time, and into a timeless, more eternal time, which is actually sort of all times, and it's got a flow to it, a flow, and I flow in the garden. I definitely flow. I get into a flow state, and research has been done on flow states that are really, really good for us to. They make us more kind. They make us more sensitive and compassionate to other people and to ourselves. They're just really renewing. They stop the endless train of thoughts that can be, some of us can get really caught up in our day-to-day lives. So these are restorative and regenerative spaces to flow state, and this is where I get in the garden. I feel delight in the garden. It might be the endorphins of the physical movement, the shoveling, the carrying, the compost, the etc. It's in my body, and it waits for me there when I drop into that garden time, that flow state, and drop out of my head. It's probably got something to do with serotonin, which research has really proved very conclusively that when the body and the skin in particular comes in contact with compost and sort of composted materials, we make serotonin. The body's immune response, humans make serotonin, so that's a good thing. We need serotonin, of course, is the happiness hormone, and we really need this. Humans really, really need this. So I get this from my garden. It's a wonderful byproduct, if you like, the making of serotonin. I also get into a seasonal flow and rhythm, and sort of remember that I am a seasonal being along with every other life form on this earth. No better, no worse. Not exclusive, not alienated or lonely or cut off from it in feeling I'm better or above it. But I drop into my place in the family of things, really, which is a line from the poet Mary Oliver's Wild Geese, finding your place in the family of things. I drop into that more. It's a place of more acceptance and surrender to the seasonal beginnings and endings, a time of new life and new beginnings, and then the inevitable decay. And the compost heap teaches me and works with me in this area a lot. But of course, realizing that the decay and the breaking down is actually where the new life comes from and is the source of new life. So this is really spiritual for me, and a relief again to remember the spiritual, the eternal in my humanity, as well as my finiteness, as well as and it's both together. And if Thich Nhat Hanh were to have anything to say here, he would say they inter-are, they're into being, both beginnings and endings. They inter-are, and I these are all the things that drop into my knowing and drop into my bodily knowing when I'm in the garden. This helps me to gives space, beautiful, respectful space, non-direct, respectful space to process both my grief and my joy, which is an ongoing. Again, I think joy and grief are inter-are. They have seeds of each other in them. Yeah. So it really, being in flow state is a spiritual state. It's a relief, and it's a communion with the creative force in the world, which of this whole life and everything that where I draw close to a mystery. Thank you.